What's up, guys? Doing a video in case you missed our Google meeting, okay, or had some technology issues or whatever, and then you miraculously get internet later on in the day, or however you're able to watch this, okay. But just trying to reach you guys in every way we possibly can with this stuff, since a lot of us are at home or whatnot, okay. But these assignments are all pretty much the same for what we've been doing for each act. There's some vocabulary terms, there's some questions, and then we go over them. Okay, so we're going over Act 3. So if you missed this earlier today, we had a Google Meet with the rest of the class. Okay, so let's go over it again. All right, for this vocabulary, what we did for these, okay, and what I'm trying to do is not just have you look up the definitions, but actually use them, okay? Because you can just rely on technology to do that for you and not really get the meaning of it. So that's why we've been doing these assignments with them. Okay, so you're doing an activity with them. Now, if you don't know what it means, okay, use Google. It's on a Google document. So if you right click on a word and then click define, pops up over there for you. So the bold words are what our actual vocab words are. So gallant, fray, exile, martial, and then fickle. Okay. So that's what our vocab words are, but you're not writing the definitions here. You're reading the instructions and then doing this assignment. So for this one, we're playing this little game called one of these things is not like the other. Okay, so synonyms and antonyms. Antonyms is that's what is not like the other. So two of these words are going to be alike. One of them is going to be different. Okay, so you're just telling me which one of them is different and then why it's different. Okay, so for number one, gallant and courageous and cowardly are the three words. Okay, gallant and courageous mean about the same thing. Cowardly is the opposite of both of those two. Okay, fray, truce, and brawl. Truce would be the opposite. Okay, the thing that's not like the others. Okay, fray and brawl are kind of the same thing. And again, if I didn't know that, I could right click, look it up. Exile, banishment, and welcome. Okay, welcome is the thing that kind of stands out. Like exile and banishment, it's the same thing. Exile, exit. Okay, banishment, if you're no longer welcome there. Okay, welcome is the opposite, literal opposite of that. Okay, martial, peaceful, and warlike. Okay, peaceful is the opposite, okay, of those other two words. Okay, martial, okay, it's a dude's name, right? But I like to use that with another word like martial law or martial arts. Kind of makes more sense that way. Okay, that's the meaning it's talking about there. Fickle, okay, and unpredictable are the same. Constant would be the opposite. Fickle is like if you're a wishy-washy. Okay, that's another word. That's what fickle means. Like, so if you, man, I'm all about the zebras today. You know, next week I'm like, man, I really like Pryor. Don't be that way. Don't be fickle. Okay. So if you're really on board, like, I don't know, we're fickle about things a lot of the time. Like, man, I really love chocolate cake. No, chocolate cake's like the thing I hate the most. Okay, that's fickle. That's a really weird way of explaining it. Okay, but that's somebody that's fickle. They don't have a backbone. They just make decisions on, I really don't know what I like. Okay. All right, for the literary analysis questions. Okay, how and why does Romeo kill Tibble? Well, you know, let's back up and actually look at the instructions here. Okay, because we've been kind of slacking off on this complete sentence thing. Okay, we're supposed to be answering these in complete sentences, and we're also trying not to use rhetorical answers. Okay, so rhetorical answers, we're taking part of that question, but okay, so I'll explain. So a lot of what we've been getting from these, so how and why does Romeo kill Tibble? Because he was mad. I'm going to go ahead and let you have the period, but most of the time it's without that. That's not a sentence. Okay? It's not a sentence. Because he was mad, it's not a sentence. Okay? So what I want you to be able to do, think about this. If you didn't have the question, this is what a rhetorical answer is. If you didn't have the question, Do I have any idea what I'm saying? Because he was mad. Who's he? See what I'm saying? Okay, so who's he? I have to use the person's name first before I use a pronoun. So I have no clue. Like this, I don't know what this is. Okay. So a way to kind of check that, I don't want you to delete the question, but just think about it without the question. Do I make sense? That does not. Okay. So push delete one too many times. All right, so how and why does Romeo kill Tibble? To use part of the question in the answer is what I've taught you guys to do. It's like redressing the prompt, right? Okay, Romeo, hey, I said his name, kills Tibble. I'm gonna use a big word. Retribution. Yeah. Okay, I could say this a little bit differently. I could say Romeo kills Tibble because he's mad at Tibble for killing Mercutio. I could say that, but I just really wanted to use that good word, right? Romeo kills Tibble. That tells why he killed. I still got to do how. Okay, so I still got to do how. So I got to write another sentence. In the movie, Romeo falls down during the fight with Tibble and grabs a sword. Lifts it up just in time to stab the pursuing. Boom. Oh, probably an and there, Eddie. Okay, so that's why and how Romeo kills Tibble in retribution for Mercutio's death. In the movie, Romeo falls down during the fight with Tibble and grabs a sword, lifts it up just in time to stab Tibble. Okay, that's what I said there. So I said in the movie because in the play, it just says they fight. Tibble dies. Okay, so we get a lot of stage direction right there, or they fight. Tibble dies. It might even say they fought with swords, but that's not much direction. So we have something here that Shakespeare didn't put in there exactly, okay, but actors would have done this their own way. So it's really kind of like who did the play first. It's kind of like think about like Batman and Spider-Man and Superman. Like there's so many different versions like throughout the years and stuff, right? Well, they all have kind of character traits based off of whoever was first. So think about Superman, right? The first actor that portrayed Superman that I know of was Christopher Reeve. So all the other Superman after him kind of look like that dude, okay? They got the hair thing going on, all that stuff, right? That wasn't written in the script, okay? But every time, somebody's Superman, they kind of have to look like him a little bit, okay? They have some of his same mannerisms, right? So that's kind of the thing with this fight scene. It's always kind of been done where Romeo is fighting this dude that's really, really good at fighting. How is a dude that's not really good at fighting kill a dude that's really good at fighting? It's got to be luck. Okay, so Romeo falls down, grabs the sword off the ground, and just in time, Tibble's really aggressive. He's coming after him, and boom. That's how it happens. Okay, so remember that's a little bit of probably actor ad-lib kind of stuff, okay, but that's the way it's been portrayed for a long time. That's the way it's done usually in the play. So that's why I said in the movie, okay, because in the script that we get, it's not even in there. It's like they fight, Tibble dies. Okay. All right, number 2, what does Romeo mean when he says after killing Tibble, I am fortune's fool? Okay, so I'm gonna delete that so it doesn't show up on yours too. Okay, I am fortune's fool. Well, fortune right here, they're actually talking about like a fortune teller kind of fortune. Okay, so use the word destiny in this place. okay, of fortune. I am destiny's fool. Okay, that's really what he's talking about here. It's a little bit different in the time that they lived. How that word's kind of meant some has grown to mean something different. For us, it's more like money, like fortune, fame. It's kind of synonymous, right? But for them, okay, fortune was more like a fate or destiny. So if he's fortune's fool, okay, he's kind of like he's this little puppet, right, for the gods to play with, right? How can I be so unlucky? Is pretty much what he's saying there. Okay, in life, this is just bad luck. Oh my gosh, right? That's kind of what he means there. Clashing emotions. Clashing emotions mean different, and it says describe. So we're using adjectives, adverbs, that kind of stuff, right? So don't just, for this one, don't just say because she's sad. Okay, she's sad. No. For one, that's not clashing emotions. Okay, and then for another, we didn't really describe that she's sad. I'm talking like she is rolling on the floor, sobbing, like wiping her tears and her snotty nose on the nurse's dress, kind of sad. Use those things. Okay, use those. I mean, I just use an adjectival clause to do that. Okay, that's it's using adjective clause. Okay, so describe it. Okay, more than just sad. Okay, that's what we're looking at when we see that word describe. And also clashing. They're clashing. They're different. Okay, and it's they're fighting each other. So she's got kind of a fight in her brain because on one hand, she is really ticked off and really sad about Tibble's death, but that's not all of it. She's really sad because of who did it. Okay, that was her husband, right, that did that. So that adds to the emotion, right? But those things, like, for one, she should be mad at Romeo, and the other side, she should be defending Romeo. So she doesn't know where she fits. She's clashing with those two emotions in that. Okay, so, oh gosh, man, here it is. Romeo's banished. Okay, the nurse kind of takes Tibble's side in this, so Juliet gets ticked off at her, right? So anyway, that's the clashing emotion things. On one hand, she's sad. On the other hand, she's wondering what her position really should be because she's supposed to be with her husband. She's supposed to be on his side. It's a tough spot. Okay, now similar and different question. Okay, same, different. That's two different things. Okay, so how are they the same about Romeo's banishment and their reactions? Well, they're both crying and blubbering, falling all over the floor and acting like babies. Okay, difference is Romeo gives up hope. Like he's like, I can't live without Verona walls. Try to stab himself, and then the friar has to like slap some sense into him. He's like, your tears are womanish. Like, man up. He like pulls his man card. Like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, he's like, I'd rather have anything than banishment. Please be death, but not banishment. Okay, so he has no hope, right? Juliet, she's a thinker. Okay, she's still blubbering and crying and all that stuff, but she sends the nurse to go find a plan. Okay, on what to do. So she at least has some hope in that. So that's the similarity and the difference. Don't forget both of those things. We've been kind of doing that. You're like, I did the similarities. I'm done. All right. Number 4, this one's kind of long, but make it short for yourself. You don't have to really go crazy in depth. Okay, but use some descriptive things. Okay. Romeo is not a fighter, but he fights when he needs to. So he fights to defend his friend. He's a good friend. Okay, he is very passionate. Okay, so I'm using those adjectives, okay, to kind of describe who he is. Okay, Tibble is a hothead. Okay, he's quick to action. He's fickle. Yeah. Okay, no, actually, he's not fickle. He's the opposite of fickle. Okay, he's the opposite of fickle in his loyalty to the Capulet family. Okay, it doesn't matter. To his death, Okay, he's a Capulet through and through. He's got to prove that. All right, Benvolio, okay, is wise. Okay, he's kind of soft spoken, but he gives people advice all the time. Like that's kind of his job. He's almost like a police officer, sort of mediator type guy. Okay, Mercutio is also kind of a hothead, but he's also really kind of funny, right? He's always joking with people. Always, he's a smart aleck, right? And then the foils of one another, Mercutio and Tibble for this act are kind of foils of one another. Okay, so they play together. They're one side versus the other. That's kind of what a foil is. One can't exist without the other, kind of thing. Okay. Explains why the proposed marriage between Paris and Juliet is a problem. It's a huge problem because Juliet's already married. But even more than that, now Romeo is not just a Montague, he's the guy that killed Tybalt. So he's a named enemy of everyone. So it's even a bigger problem. Okay, because before, Juliet probably could have broke the news at some point to her family and be like, hey, guess what? I got married. Yeah, and it's Romeo. Yeah, don't hit me, right? So one of those things. Now, ooh, yeah, she can't say that because of what Romeo's done. So that's a huge problem. She doesn't know what to do. Like, what can she do? She can't tell anybody why she can't marry Paris. That's a big deal. All right. It's kind of going over that. Sorry if I kind of rambled a little bit. It's be prior week, baby. So have a good weekend and be prior.